Welcome to Joe's Atmosphere.
Cook your shrimp, please. All of a sudden, my shrimp pan is burning up like a smoke fest.
Okay. All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard for Sketching the Privateer. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere. And as usual, I've got a friend along with me. My Blue Kevin is here.
How you doing, everybody?
You might catch me calling him Jack every once in a while because
It happens.
he's another one of those guys that I met playing DC Universe Online. And yeah, man, we've been friends for a long time. What's going on, Big Daddy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Just taking my time working on my passion project. You know how that
I was going to
goes.
say, I noticed there's quite a lack of pumpkins in the intro of the comic so far.
Well, I mean, my brother, you got to remember something. Nobody from mythology, and we'll discuss this while I'm working today.
Okay.
Nobody from mythology is going to be on this thing, unless it takes off. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
And I don't want to use anybody from mythology unless I can pay them, something for using their character. You know what I mean?
Well, you can use the great. Well, you're going to have a hard time using the Great Pumpkin because I'm sure that name is trademarked. You'll have to come up with something else.
It could be. We could play with
the
it.
Majestic Pumpkin.
Yeah, something else.
Jess might come and get me.
You never know.
But
that was the name of his character in DCUO's The Great Pumpkin. From the Charlie Brown Halloween thing, right? We all know and love. Anyway, and he had a really cool looking character too. Had a pumpkin for a head and stuff. You know what though? That headless horseman thing is really cool. You remember that headless cape that they had and everything? I always wanted to do something with that. But anyway, let me get this thing started and fill people in. What I usually do is I start by bringing up my Procreate screen. And what I'm doing, folks, is I'm just showing you what I'm doing on my pad. There's a little bit of a delay because I'm going through Twitch to show it to you. I don't have an app uploaded to where I can just plug in my which one is the sketching one? There it is. Okay. I don't have one where I can just plug in the app, plug in the iPad straight to the computer and show it to you that way. So I do it through Twitch. So there's a little bit of a delay. But what I like to do is I like to show them some of the work I've done already with a what the cool thing about Procreate is they can you can show the time lapsed videos of each one. It saves, and I don't use this iPad for damn near anything but this and watching television. So uh, you can watch a time lapse replay of the work I've done. Right?
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it'll
awesome.
start here in a second. Like I said, there's a delay. It's going through Twitch, so it's a little bit of a delay there. But you see, what I do is I draw the sketches on my drawing board back here, right? And then I come in here to do the inks on the iPad. And through these time lapse videos, you can actually see all the work I did making it. Right?
Yeah. The industry has changed so much, Joe. I
Oh,
mean,
dude, I would
when
have
I was a
never done
kid,
this if
yeah.
if my daughter hadn't clued me in about this app, I'd have never done this because I'm really confident in my pencils,
Hmm.
but I am not so confident in my ability to use inks. Okay, so I've always been afraid of messing up my pencils. Now if I mess something up, I hit a back button. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice.
Now I tried this, and I will tell anybody that wants to try and use Procreate. It's a great app if you've got an iPad. It's awesome. Does just about everything that Photoshop can do. But I mean, Photoshop's the elite thing. I just don't want to spend the money for it when there's free stuff out there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm already spending money on this iPad and everything. I mean, hell, an iPencil is $100, dude. And
Oh,
and this is what I was going to say. If you're going to use this, you have to get an iPencil. Don't get a knockoff one because I bought one of those cheap knockoff ones, and the tip didn't line up with the thing. I don't know what it was about it, but it didn't line up the way it's supposed to. So I had to get an actual iPencil. I inherited this from my wife. Is what I did. She's the Apple queen. She's got an Apple Watch and all that shit. She already had one of these, and I stole it from her, and she went and got another one for herself. So, I got her. I always get her hand me downs. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah. That's the way it always is, though. But happy wife, happy life. You
Oh,
know.
network. Click to reload player. There we go. Come on, man. Don't doing this to me. What are you doing? Shouldn't be anything wrong with my network at all. Let me see what's going on here. Bear with me, boys and girls. Let me find out what's going on with this damn thing here. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Okay. Let's see. Maybe my iPad signed into the wrong Wi-Fi network. Let me take. Sorry, guys. I try and have everything ready for the show, but apparently this wants to be a pain in the ass today. I don't know why. But we will endeavor to persevere, as my brother. Let's try this again. What is going on with Twitch today? Come on, man. Get your shite together. Oh, if this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to go to doing some new sketches or something. Are you kidding me? Use low latency toggle under the advanced menu in settings to disable low latency mode. That's weird. Never had this problem before. Let's see if I see what they're talking about. Um, looking, customize. No, this is weird. I've never had this problem before. I don't know why it's doing this. I really don't. Hmm. Okay, I guess maybe I'll just wonder if it's just hang on. Oh, this is a bummer, Kevin.
Yeah.
This is a bummer. I can't believe it's messing up on me. Why would it? Let's try refreshing the page.
I was
Maybe.
gonna say, have you thought about maybe just hard resetting your entire network? I know that may have to shut down the show for a minute, but
No, 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 not at all. What I'll do is I'll stop streaming and try and restart it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm not going to. It's not. This isn't messing up, so I'm not going to leave this. Let's see. Let's try this again. Start broadcast. See what happens here.
I will say I love Apple products, but
Mm-hmm.
one problem that I've had with a lot of their technology is it always tries to smart auto detect your Wi-Fi
Mm-hmm.
rather than going with what you tell it to do.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still try to think for itself, and it always
Yeah.
causes issues.
Okay. So it's running again now. Okay. Now it's back to normal. All right. Let me reshare this. That's really weird, man.
Hey, at least it's
Anyway,
working though.
yeah, it's very strange. Manage your channel directly on the panel. I don't want to. I want to do what I want to do. And what I want to do is show the guys I've been the work I've been doing. So I'm going to continue to do that. And you just better keep your Wi-Fi going. Pain in the butt. Tired of this stupid stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm broadcasting my screens what I'm doing, and you're seeing what I'm doing just a little bit afterwards. Okay, this one. There's the video for that one. The delay is much less now. So yeah, we must have just started up with a bad connection or something. I don't know, and it could be on the Twitch side of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does seem to be moving a bit faster.
Yep. So yeah, man, this is the kind of stuff I've been doing, Kevin.
Nice.
I've just been sitting here, sketching stuff and then taking pictures of it. See next to him, just off to the left, you see an eyeball there. You see that? It's a little bit faded because I erased some of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But somebody during the stream when I was drawing this wanted to know how to draw an eye and how to make it look realistic. And I gave them a little lesson, impromptu lesson right there on the same drawing that I was working on.
That's awesome, Bry.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually thinking about teaching portrait art online. So, that's one
Well,
thing.
something I thought of that I haven't seen in a long, long time. I don't know if you remember this, but when I was a kid, and you're a little bit older than I am, so you've been working already at this point.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, there was a PBS show with an artist who would sit there and sketch out scenes from books that he would read aloud.
Really?
Like, I don't know if you remember the Boxcar Children.
Mm-mm.
He would draw pictures of scenes out of that book while he was reading it. And I was sitting there thinking, how cool that would be if you could eventually do that with the history of mythology or the
Right.
privateer comic in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd love doing that. I kind of do that here. If you watch the old episodes of it, what I would do is when I was sketching the comic book pages itself, it kind of goes into a flicker thing there when you're playing with colors and stuff, But anyway, hang on, let me get this. I forgot to put this full screen. Hang on. There we go. Get that a little bigger. But anyway, what I would do is when I was doing pages, I would go into my script. I would pull up my script, which, hang on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this show I only run for about an hour, man. That way, the StreamYards account I have, it saves my stuff, and if it's less than an hour, I can set up rebroadcasts. So when I originally do this, I'm doing it on X, YouTube, and Rumble, and then tomorrow afternoon about 1, there'll be a replay of it on Facebook, Twitch itself. It won't be the raw feed; it'll be you and I on there, right? A replay of it, and Kick, the newer one that's out there now.
Nice.
Yeah, so I do that. Let me see here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing or anything, but I will before I start working on this today. Read the page that I'm going to do. Let's see. Oh wait, that's right. I put the scripts for the comics by themselves in their own thing. Yeah, this is the script for the first one right here. Okay. And I know it's kind of small. I have to blow it up. What I need to do is
But don't do
close
it too
this
big. You
out.
don't want anybody to steal it.
Oh, that's why I do it online, all live. All I have to do is go check my YouTube channel. This is the
Yep.
date it was broadcast. That's half the reason why I do this show, man. It's kind of a
Smart man.
retroactive,
Poor man's
copyright.
copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, anyway, let's see. I think, yeah, there you go. Now you can read it. You should be able to. And I'd have to change the
Yep.
screen too. That way you don't see what's overlapping. There you go. Anyway, uh, that's the script for the first comic book right there. And what I do is when I'd start the page, I would read what I wrote for that page and then show them how I was going to break it down. I've got 2 full issues of this sketched out and plotted already.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
it's already plotted. I think I've shown those before. I don't think I have them downloaded on my computer, but what I do is I'll upload them to my iPad to do the work. For instance, what I've been doing here the last few months is, and I'll show it to you real quick, is the cover. All right, let me show you a couple more videos here. I started with the character stuff, and this is the cover that I'm working on for the first issue. Now, everybody's screaming at me about alternate covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see, if you look there, you'll see it's a helicopter, and the nose cone is kind of in the bottom left-hand side, where you would have. I'm sorry, I'm covering my face up, but you see the bottom left-hand corner is kind of blank with that nose cone. That's where your barcode would go for the price of it, right? And then it's got a lot of open area underneath, at the bottom where the skid of the helicopter is and everything, and I can put all the writing in there, But that's going to be the Privateer logo. I wanted to do it in cursive, that way, because cursive is becoming a lost art. I don't know if you know this or not, but they're not teaching it in schools anymore.
They still teach it at my kid's school, which
Do
I'm
they?
lucky
That's
for.
good.
Yeah,
That's
she
good.
goes to a special school because
But
she's
they're
dyslexic.
trying to phase
right?
it out, man. And I'm like, dude, come on. So what
People need it.
I'm trying to do a little bit of history teaching. I'm trying to make this kind of a teaching story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, that's the one I've been working on, and this is the work I've done on it so far in a time-lapse video. Hang on. Let's go ahead and blow this back up a little bit bigger so you can see it. That's the first page right there, actually. I don't know why that's on this one, because that's not part of this one right here at all. I don't know why it always starts off with that side of it, and then it switches to the cover. I don't know why it does that, man, because that's not the page I'm actually working on. That page. I've already gotten. I finished it up last week. I mean, I say finished it up. I'm just doing broad strokes. I'm not doing the high details on it yet. You know what I mean? I think that would bore the shit out of people. So I'm just, I'm going to, my New Year's resolution was to do more work on this during the week, not just do it. Because I was so busy last year with commissions and everything that I only did the hour on the show, and that was it. I mean, I couldn't find any more time to do it. But now I'm finding more time to do my stuff. And my schedule's changed now. I've got Saturdays and Sundays off. I think I was telling you that earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And first time in a long time I've had Saturdays off, dude. I've been, of course, I was a bartender for 18 years, and I did shift work at a manufacturing place for a long time. And so I didn't get Saturdays off. And now I have every weekend off, Saturdays and Sundays. And I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah. So
throughout my entire career, I never had the weekends off.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know. It's just the nature of the beast in certain lines of work. And, it just happens that way. But this is what, like I said, this is something I love about the Procreate thing is it saves a video of all the steps you took to get where you're going with your drawing, And
so Out of curiosity, what rating are you going for on this? You looking for PG or
Oh
G
yeah, it's going to
rating?
be PG. Like if he which the privateer curses like a sailor because he is,
Yeah.
but it's going to be asterisks and stars and stuff like that. But
I was
he's
gonna
going to
say,
curse, right? And,
have you thought about maybe throwing a pitch to the old days and bringing back like an approval from the comics code on the front of the book?
well, I don't know.
Because
What
so very few books do that these days.
I know. Well, let me tell you, one thing that I'm planning on doing because recently there's been a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys doing independent comics, and I've been paying attention to that
Mm-hmm.
scene a lot. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Indiegogo is where a lot of the guys that I'm taking a lot of advice from, including Ethan Van Shriver. I've met Ripa a couple of times, the guy that made Isom. I don't know if you've heard of that book, but anyway, these guys, Isom has a complete network that he sells his stuff from, and he's got Chuck Dixon working for him. Just produced a book with him. I mean, he's got some big names in comic books working with him. Ethan Van Shriver, if you know who he is, he did some Green Lantern work. He worked for DC for a while, and he does an independent comic called Cyber Frog. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but that's
I
his
don't think so.
deal.
It sounds familiar, but
Yeah,
I don't
but
think I've
he's
read it.
fantastic. Anyway, these guys, most of the guys that were big in the comic book industry have moved to independent comics. And, what I'm planning on doing is a lot of these guys are going with the graphic novels, like 80 and 96 pages and stuff.
It's a
And what
lot.
I'm planning on doing with mine is I want to do a throwback comic book. I want it printed on newsprint. I want it printed, the only thing slick is going to be the cover, like
Mm-hmm.
the ones we read when we were a kid. And they're going to be 20 pages, right? That way you get the cliffhanger ending thing. That's what a lot of these guys are missing out on with these graphic novels. They're telling an entire story in one book. And I'm like, how are you going to get that cliffhanger ending? I mean, when I was reading Spider-Man, I loved it because, and this is page 1. This is an attack on a Coast Guard cutter. Okay. And the bottom panel, Bud, like I said, it's broad strokes, but what it is, it's the guy in the binoculars, and that second part of it there, that's his reaction to what he's seeing at the binoculars. Okay. And that's an ode to one of my favorite album covers ever. If you've ever heard of a band called Rainbow, they did an album
Oh
called
yeah.
Straight Between the Eyes. It's got the
Mm-hmm.
guitar neck coming through the bridge of the guy's nose, and that's the eyes, right? And that's what it's an ode to, really. But anyway, that's the first page of it, and this is the work I did on that. And I'm about to start working on page 2 before we get out of here today. But I don't understand why that other video where I was the other page, the cover work I'm doing, for some reason this pops up on that one every time. For some reason, I think it's because I started working on this first and then went
Maybe.
to the cover second. But yeah, this as you can see, it's time lapsed. It won't take no time at all to put it on here. And I'm not doing it in black and white. It's going to be color. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning now by just by doing this work. I've stopped making deadlines for myself because I've got a 40-hour a week job. When it's done, it's done. I'm not going to sit here and put deadlines on myself. I want to enjoy this. You know what I mean? So hang on one second. Christian Delorme's in the house. Hey man, what's going on? It's good to see you, brother. He's been on this show before.
Nice.
Actually, you're going to see him later on in the trailer, the new trailer for the show, because I'm changing the time of the show. I'm going to move it from Saturdays at 1:30 to Fridays at 1. That way I've got my entire weekend cleared up to do stuff with you. And I mean, me and my brother are going to have a show starting at 5:00 on Sundays. That'll be the start of my streaming week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's the first page right there. And now we're about to start on the second page. That's going to be what he's reacting to. And what it is it's a Hind helicopter. Now, if you know your military stuff, a Hind helicopter is a Russian helicopter. Wow, I'm in the trailer. Yes, you are, Christian. It said close up, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put a close up of Christian's face in it. You'll see it at the end of the show, buddy. It's a new trailer for when I move it to Fridays at 1:00. So anyway, Christian, you see his name is uh, Christian Delorme's Vinyl Revival. He's got his own channel too, and he look at him, he's laughing. Um, he does a stream about once a month, and it's about music, you know. Um, but anyway, okay, so I've got to check and make sure we got the right pencil. Yeah, I got the Bakersfield on. That's my main pencil I use, and we got to make sure. Now up top here is where we pick the color, and it's already set to black, so we're good to go there. So basically, first thing I want to do is make sure I got the whole photo in here, because as you can see, I do this on blue line paper like a regular comic book. Okay, I just use regular pencils because I'm going to use this medium to do the inks in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole reason behind a blue line paper, if you guys don't know, is whenever they use real inks, it's better to use blue pencils to do your sketches with, because once you put the ink on there, it makes that light blue hard for the printer to even pick up, and
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it basically transparent. So that's why they use blue pencils on this stuff. But I'm doing it differently. I'm using those just because it's easier to set up, like the different panel lengths, because it's got notches on the side. If you look over here on the side, it's got little markers for a quarter of the page, half the page, things like that you can use with a T-square to make straight lines with, to cut your panels. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you know what? I just realized I can scoot that over a little bit and kind of center it away from our faces here. I'm still learning how to do this, but anyway, what we're going to do to start with is we're going to do just the regular square that's going to be across it. And what's cool about this is, you see how that popped it right into place? It
Mm-hmm.
made it perfect. Go away. Go away. Line. Yes, I want line. Stop it. Go away. But anyway, you definitely want to set this line up. See how it popped it into place?
That's cool. The program does that for you automatically.
Yep. Now I'm going to set it up broad strokes wise, and then I'm going to go back and do it manually on the corners, because these things have got to be filled in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have got to cover your holes in it for the coloring process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if you don't, it'll cover the entire outside area
Right.
of the page, right? Yeah.
These loops
just
have
like-
to be closed.
Yep.
Yep. And I don't care about the thickness of this line or anything. I just want to make sure it's closed. The whole thing with this program is how hard you push the pencil onto the paper, is how thick the line becomes, right?
That's
But
weird.
getting back to what we were talking about earlier, what I want to do is I want to create the old 20-page rag, and that way people will experience the cliffhanger ending. I mean, how many Spider-Man comic books did we read when we were kids where he's falling from an airplane and he's out of fluid? What the fuck's going to happen to him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That
you have
kind
to
of thing.
figure
You just
out-
don't get
yeah.
that. You don't get that with these newer books. I mean, they're trying to tell you an entire story all at once, and I don't know. I'm just not down with that, man. I want them to experience the cliffhanger, man. The cliffhanger. Now you see what that just did?
Yeah,
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
that is cool.
Get the right length and everything.
And then you can move it and
Yeah.
adjust it.
Yep. And I fucked it up, but that's okay. I just wanted to show you what it does. Let's see. Okay, so I just go hit the back button, and it's gone. Start over. There we go. This is kind of weird. There we go. That'll work right there. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to go to the eraser, blow it up a little bit, get rid of that stuff on the outside. Ooh, you got to watch what you're doing. Look what I'm doing, man.
Yeah,
I'm
I see
erasing.
that.
Ooh, as a matter of fact, that just told me something right there. I fucked up to begin with. This is a layer I shouldn't even be drawing on. That's my sketch layer, right? So now I
Mhm.
have to go back, which will take no time flat. Hang on. This is what I'm saying. I'm still learning this thing, man. Still learning it. I got to go back. Let me go ahead and get this down where I can see the whole page. I got to go back, get rid of all those lines, and start over on a new layer. There we
Is this
go.
an Apple program?
Yes.
Okay. I was
Okay.
gonna say
Well,
because it looks it's formatted a little bit like Adobe,
mm-hmm.
but it didn't look like Adobe.
Right.
So
I got you.
yeah.
Okay. So now I've made a new layer, and that's the one I'm going to be working on. See, you can tell I'm on it right there. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. And now close that out. Make sure I'm on the right pin. And I need to turn my notifications off when I'm doing this and start all over again. I hate doing double work, but you know what? When you're still learning something, sometimes it has to be done. And
Sometimes it's
and now that
necessary.
I'm thinking about it, I can draw those lines longer than they're supposed to be, right? And just overlap them. That's going to help me. How? With the corners, right? I didn't even think about doing it that way. All right. You know what I hate is when this thing starts saying line. Is that what you wanted? Line. Oh, nice. I can edit that line. Look, screw ups can teach you something. I
Yes,
tapped
you
into
can.
that and it says editing. I can take the blue point and move that line.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I told you, I'm still learning this thing, dude. Still learning it. Okay, so the frame is done. Go back with the. Well, you know what? I'm going to erase later. Screw all that. Just go ahead and draw what we wanted to draw at the beginning of it and get caught up here. Okay. That looks a little off. Don't like that. Come on now. All right. It needs to be as far out to the right as it is to the left. Right? Yeah, there we go. This is kind of tricky right here. There we go. All right. Um, okay, so now I can take the eraser and go back this way and then blow it up and get rid of the lines on the outside. You see, I'm not erasing everything now. I'm just
Yeah.
erasing the black. Right? I'm getting all kinds of notifications on Rumble. I don't know if somebody's watching the Rumble stream. If you are, I'm sorry, I can't see it on my StreamYard screen. So until Rumble gets with the rest of the programs, I'm going to have to answer your stuff after the show. Sorry about that. But I appreciate you guys. Definitely give me a follow on Rumble because I need more followers over there. I've only got like 55 on Rumble. Wow. I am getting that is kind of thin down here, isn't it? I keep cutting the corner off. Okay, there we go. But yeah, this is what I do every Saturday, buddy. This is what I do.
Well, that's cool, Pryor.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I was doing it about an hour before I went to work on Saturdays, but I don't work on Saturdays anymore. I could actually do this for a few hours if I have to. Let's see, 12 weeks until New Orleans. I can't wait. Yeah, I hear you, man. Christian and I are going to meet up down in New Orleans this year. We're going to actually, he said he's going down there with his lady. He lives in Canada, and he's
Don't
a
forget,
trucker.
don't forget, Bash is working the streets in New Orleans too. So
He's a
if you
cop, isn't he?
yes, he is.
Yep.
So if
Yep.
you need help or somebody to show you around town,
Right.
hook
That's
up with
right.
Sebastian.
I've been down there a few times. Who's your guest? Oh, this is my buddy Kevin, man. He lives in San Antonio, right? Isn't that where
Yes,
you're
San
at?
Antonio,
Yeah, San
Texas.
Antonio. This is the guy I'm super jealous of because he's got a drive-in, but I have a drive-in now in my backyard, bro. I
Yeah,
set
you
up a
do.
friggin' I don't know if you saw the pictures on Facebook,
I
but I set
did.
up
I
a
saw it all.
150-inch screen in my backyard, man.
Hmm.
But I want a better sound system for it. I've got some speakers out there, but I got to get an amplifier because the projector only has one of those headphone jacks on it. So I'm going to have to
Which
get
is
an
also,
amplifier to
as I
put it
said, get
through.
a halfway decent sound bar,
Yeah.
and it'll come with two speakers, and you can put one on either side.
I've already got the
Once you,
speakers. I've already got the
okay.
speakers, and they're already mounted. I thought I was getting something that I could. The projector I thought had a better sound connection on the back of it, and it didn't. So
Right on.
but yeah, I can always change them out. Let's see. Low Spec is here. He says I'm in the redhead stepchild over on Rumble. Rumble does not does have pop up chat. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Penguin. I appreciate you supporting me over there, though, brother. Let me see this. It does have pop out chat, doesn't it, man? Let me see. Yep. Yep. Let me see. I got this and pop out chat. And I can drag it over here right by my other chats. See in StreamYards, I don't know if you can see that there on the right. You can set it up to where you can see the comments there, Jack.
Hmm.
And you can actually type back to them if you want to. Um, Christian says, "Hi, Kevin. Nice to meet you." And hey,
All right.
Low Spec. He's saying hi to everybody. But yeah, I forgot all about there being a pop up chat over there, brother. I just wish they'd fix it to where it actually showed it in StreamYards. You know what I mean, Low Spec? But I appreciate you watching it over there, man. That's cool. But anyway, uh, yeah, Christian's going to be down in New Orleans, and we're going to link up. We're Rhonda and I. He's going down there in May, and that's our anniversary month anyway. We'll have been
Oh,
together.
sweet.
We'll have been married. Let's see, what is this? 24, 23 years this year. So
Yeah, the baby mama was trying to convince me we should take the kids to New Orleans for spring break, and I was like, no, they're 11 and 12.
yeah, they ain't ready for that yet. When they're adults, go do that then.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm just gonna sketch this in a few lines here to get it going here. I love this helicopter. Now, a lot of the things you're going to see in this are older. This is the same helicopter that Rambo flew.
Yes.
Okay, and I think it's the third one, isn't it? The third one he's
It would have to
flying
be
one
the
of
third
those.
one because he
Yeah, the
was in,
Afghanistan one. Yeah,
yeah,
um,
Afghanistan. Yeah.
yeah.
They
He
were
flew
using
one.
the purchased Russian gear.
These things are basically flying tanks, man. That's what they are. But you notice the front cover one that I'm doing. And the great thing about this is it automatically saves it for you, so I don't have to worry about saving it. But you see that's a Huey helicopter he's hanging out the
Mhm.
side of, right?
Yeah.
It's all going to be 80s kind of material and like for instance, okay, you see he's got a flintlock, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that flintlock, the whole thing is kind of like, Batman tries to deceive you, with the smoke and mirrors kind of thing. He's kind of doing the same thing, but he's doing it by making his shit look archaic. Like he's got a eye patch, right? But if you
Yeah.
look closely at that eye patch, he sees better out of that eye than he does uh, with his actual eye. Okay. And I'm actually going to show that in there. And plus the flintlock itself is actually going to be full auto if he wants it and stuff. You know what I mean? It's going to
Mhm.
have ways to fire things. But let me do this real quick. I dropped my iPad. Hang on. Ah. I got to show you guys something real fast. Where's my phone? This is one of my favorite panels I'm going to be doing coming up here. And I know I haven't been drawing much today, guys, but I haven't seen Jack in a while. So, and like I told you, I knew I was going to call him a Jack eventually because he's going to call me Pry, and you guys are going to wonder what the hell he's talking about. That's my nickname on DC Universe Online. Anyway, I've got to show you one of my favorite panels. I mean, some of the panels I created for this thing are going to be really cool looking, man. Let's see, live photos, because that's what I do. I take a photo of these things and then throw them into throw it in the program and use it as a layer, as you saw, right? That was an
Yeah.
actual picture I took. Take me just a second to find these. Hang on. I've got to put these on my subscribe star. There it is right there. All right, boom. And it should go straight to my iPad like that. Okay. This is it right here. And let me get rid of the framing. Um, this is during that battle on the Coast Guard cutter. This is the actual up here. Up here is top left is the captain of the Coast Guard cutter drawn down on the privateer. He's actually saved a female crew member of this thing by jumping between her and the helicopter when it came in for another strafing run. Right? They've already been
Mhm.
hit by a torpedo. This thing's going to go down. Right?
Oh
And
wow.
he's over the top. What you're seeing in that one, you can always tell where his tri-cornered hat is. He's over the crew member, seeing if she's okay, and then he stands up, right, and the captain's still got the gun on him, and he's telling him, "Look, man, I'm not your enemy." In that panel, and then in the panel where he says they were, it's a big panel. What you're going to see here? Let me go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So what you got is top left, you see the the eye patch and you see that red dot, right? Coming to life in his eye patch.
Mhm.
Well, he's seeing digitally through that thing. He can see, infrared, all kinds of shit with that thing depending on what he wants to see. And the three things you see, the three circles you see are crosshairs, and he shoots the rotors and he shoots each one of the bad guys in the helmet,
Nice.
right? That's what those three circles are. And then top right, that little half circle, the captain's unloading on him from behind, and he's got a shield around him. And the shield, it's kind of like he doesn't want people to get hit by the ricochets. It's an inertia shield. Anything that's got a lot of inertia behind it that comes up to the shield just gets stopped and drops. All the energy gets
Nice.
pulled out of it, right? So
That's
that's
cool.
that's what's going on there. And then bottom left hand side, you see him uh cranking away the rounds with the flintlock, right? And then he says they were, talking about they were your enemy, not me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And yeah, that's one of my favorite panels. That's the one that shows you that, yeah, this stuff may look archaic, but he's actually high tech as fuck. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if you remember
Well,
in
he's a
the
time traveler, isn't he?
right, exactly.
Yeah. So I
He
mean,
and when he came here, all his booty was worth billions, right? All his stuff from the 1700s, right? So yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. And the scripts so far, this first one has to do basically with the setup of him and hang on, let me just go ahead and kill this for right now, so I can yak with you real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about on the script. Um, let's see. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Well, I don't even need to show you. I can just tell you. The first book basically is an encounter he has saving the Coast Guard crew from that helicopter. And it turns out the helicopter is it's the guardian for a couple of drug boats is what it is. And the drug boats, it's drug running by Communist Rain, the guy that's the nemesis of the privateer, right? And I don't know if you remember the story behind Communist Rain or anything, but he's a dude that wants to see all the Soviet satellites brought back under the flag of Mother Russia, right?
Oh goodness.
Yeah, they're both. He's an '80s character. He's basically Ivan Drago kind of thing, you know. But anyway, that's what it sets up those two characters basically, and it also shows some of the time periods that the privateer's been in. At the end of the book, you see him shortly after he's arrived in the future, right? And he gets arrested in Afghanistan. He actually gets a lead on Osama bin Laden's doctor, right? Because I don't know if you know this or not, but Osama bin Laden had to have dialysis like fucking twice a week, right? And so he gets a lead on Osama bin Laden's doctor in Afghanistan, and he goes to get him, and he starts beating the dude up, and the U.S. troops stop him. All they see is a dude beating up an Afghani, and so they arrest him. And at the end of the story, he's debriefing at Guantanamo Bay, right? And they're asking him how old he is, and he says, "I'm 200 and something years old," and he tells them, his real name's Robert McBriarty, and the guy goes, "The billionaire? You're Robert McBriarty, the billionaire?" yeah, it's totally freaking out his interrogator. And at the final panel of that book, he breaks his handcuffs and tells him, I was sent here from the year 17 whatever, and all that stuff. That's how that one ends. That's kind of the cliffhanger at the end of that one. And the second book is basically it doesn't really bounce too much. It starts off now, and then it goes to him at Guantanamo Bay telling his story, how he ended up in the future. And it starts off as him as a child and his dad being taken away and all that stuff. And I know you've read his origin before, but that's where that part starts, is in the second one. And the cliffhanger at the end of the second one, the whole incident that drives what happens in the story, it's not necessarily the Coast Guard attack. What it is it's the drug boats. They they know the drug boats are coming into the Florida Keys in Miami. They stop them and they arrest them when they get there. The privateers got them on lock, right? They let them go ahead and get there and tell the civilian police where they're going to be at, right? They get picked up, and the van they're in the first issue gets blown to smithereens by Communist Rain. Somebody that works for him hits him driving through Miami with an RPG, right?
Wow.
And at the beginning of the second one, they're at the the first responders are there on the scene of the explosion of the van, and they find a guy alive. Okay, it's one of the cops, right? But nobody knows that. All they know is there's cameras there watching the whole thing, and they say they got a live one, and they go and grab the guy, right? And the second page of the book, or actually it's an open thing. The first page just has some stuff setting up the reporter that's trying to get in there and find out some stuff. And then the second page, you see these people run into this guy that's in a bunch of rubble, right? You see his hand on top of some rocks and shit, right? And the bottom of each side, one corner, it's got the Communist Rain giving orders saying, "Look, we got to get this guy. Basically, kill him. He might have heard something from the dudes in the boat, right?" and the privateer at the same time saying, we got to send some protection for this guy. Somebody's going to be after him, you know? So that's basically the incident that's going to make all the things come together. Right. And, most of it is, his story up to the point when he, ends up linking back up with his father. Right. I don't know if you remember that part of the story, but he ends up
Oh yeah.
crossing swords with him right in the middle of a fight, right, with a British frigate, right? Anyway, right at that point is where it's going to come back to regular time, and it's one of my favorite pages. It's I think I have it right here, as a matter of fact. Yeah. He sends Regal Inferno out there. I don't know if you can see right there. It says Regal
Nice.
Rescue. This is
Yeah.
the final page of the book, and she's flying, right? And you remember that character. I know you do.
I do. I do.
And what this
Very
is
well.
right here is him saying, if I can't trust my own daughter, who can I trust? Right. Talking about, you know, who they sent to protect the guy. Right. And right here, this is guys in a boat going, what the hell is that? She's flying over water to get there.
Yep.
So yeah, that's how the second book ends. So yeah, I've already plotted out 2 issues already.
That's awesome.
I wanted to get to work on the inks and show people how I was going to do it. I may go back to plotting over here and just doing the inking, you know, most of it offline. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. People are enjoying me doing the show. So let's see. Christian said an atmosphere meetup. Yeah, I'll be down in New Orleans. If anybody's down there around, I don't even remember the dates. What dates do we set up, Christian? Shit, I've got it in my calendar. I just don't have it on me right now. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when we get closer to it. He says, wow, 3 watching and 3 likes. Great job, everybody. Yeah. He's always talking about YouTube stuff. And I want to buy those 2 issues. Yeah, of course you do, man. Look, I'm taking my time and enjoying it, guys. Okay. So, you know, I hope you enjoy what you're seeing. First week of May. Yeah, I knew it wasn't on my anniversary. My anniversary is the 16th. I knew. I figured. I couldn't remember exactly where it's what time it is, but my wife knows. She's setting up everything. So don't worry, we got it on the calendar, man. We're gonna see each other. Christian actually bought some of my artwork. I do commissions for portraits, and he had a very special portrait he wanted done, and I shipped it to him in Canada. So
nice.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. You should check out his channel sometime. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Let me let you guys know what's going on with the channel, and then we're going to get out of here, and I'm going to talk to Jack for a minute before I get offline here. Of course, you know, you're watching Sketching the Privateer, and we are changing the time and date of this show. You can watch me sketch the pages of the Privateer in the future on Fridays at 1 p.m. We're going to do it on Fridays at 1 p.m. so I can be off on Saturdays and hang out with Terrell Fox. You know, man, I like doing that. Anyway, be sure to tune in next Friday at 1 p.m. to watch Sketching the Privateer. And then Sunday, we're coming to an end on NFL pregame party. And yes, that's Knock right there, the guy in the Elway jersey there, Kevin. That's Knock. I actually deep faked everybody's face on here.
Yeah.
Guys that I do the football show with. Anyway, it's Championship Sunday tomorrow. Championship Sunday. We're going to find out who's going between, I think the early game is, the early game should be the Kansas City Chiefs going to Baltimore to play the Ravens. And the Detroit Lions are going to San Francisco in the evening to play the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm pulling for the Detroit Lions all the way. Anyway, we're going to talk all about it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. You guys come check it out. The best pregame party on YouTube. And then Monday, over on Pop Culture Minefield's channel with Gary, we're going to be talking Rambo. That's the 4th chapter of the Rambo series. I've got to do some homework because I've never seen this movie. I'm going to have to watch it before. Before what? What is it?
It's a gore fest.
I know. I heard it's a gore fest.
It's a gore fest.
I heard it's a good movie, though. My brother was pleasantly surprised with it. You know, he thought the series was dead. But anyway, we're going to talk about it on Military Monday. Gary and I are both vets, and we like to break down military movies. And it's also a movie that that inspired his comic book that he's been working on for a long time called Vindicated Inc. And you guys definitely want to come check it out and support his book. And that's going to be at 10 a.m. Central Time on Monday. And then at 4 p.m. on Monday afternoon Central Time, you can watch It's Only Talk and Roll on That 70s Rock Fans channel. We're going to be talking about songs that what makes a song heavy was the question he asked us today. So we're going to be talking about heavy songs, whether it be the subject matter, whether it be the metal portions of it, that kind of thing. We're going to talk about heavy songs on That 70s Rock Fans channel at 4 p.m. On Monday, 4 p.m. Monday on It's Only Talk and Roll. And then Tuesday, I'll be getting back into Papa Joe Gamer, video games, cocktails, and fails, and I'll be playing some Stuntman Ignition on PlayStation 3. That's Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Central Time. And then Wednesday, it's our pop culture show where we let you know what's going on with all the pop culture news and movies and all the stuff we dig, comic books and stuff like that. We do that at 5:30 p.m. Central Time every Wednesday. And then later on that night, I'm back on Pop Culture Minefield as John Das Wolfen plays. Well, actually, he's not going to be playing Uncharted this time. He's going to be playing that new game that everybody's playing, apparently. Have you tried out Pal World yet? Have you played that thing yet? Have you heard about it?
I've been so immersed in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I'm playing that too.
I've got like 4 games.
This is not a game that I would play, but dude, look, it's a phenomenon, brother.
Okay.
They put it up for early access last week. It sold 8 million copies in 6 days on Steam. It's called Pal World. It's basically Pokemon with guns is what they're calling it.
I saw that, bro.
Yes. It's called P.A.T.R.I.O.T. World.
My son wants to play.
They only charging $30 a copy for it, and apparently, my friend that plays a lot of video games, he says that it's like Ark and Pokemon put together. It's a survival game. Is what it is. Okay.
Wow.
And and use pals to help you build things and stuff, which are basically Pokemon. It looks really cool. Anyway, John's going to be playing that instead of Uncharted at 8 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday, shortly after our show. And then we do finally have a new time for the Brothers Hack the Matrix, my political show I do with me and my brother, where we break down today's headlines and let you know what's really going on with the clown show that is 2024. And that's going to be at Sundays at 5 p.m. We're not going to do it tomorrow because of the NFL championship games, but next Sunday, definitely tune in at 5 p.m. Central Time for the Brothers Hack the Matrix. So for myself and my Blue Kevin, we want to thank you guys for being here. And until we see you again, you guys keep on keeping on. God bless.